Hello everybody, Ben here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm at Didcot Railway Center. You can see here they had Pendennis Castle sat outside, I believe, having its boiler washed out.
Do you see what that is over there?
That's the water strip, is it?
That's how they can pick up water. On the move, isn't it?
I don't know. I think this here is a Didcot 2800 or maybe a 3800, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a heavy freight engine. This here, I believe, is Lady of Legend, which I think is a Saint class, and it's certainly a new build because it's built in 2018, I think. You can see it's got quite large wheels and quite a nice crest on the tender as well. There's quite a lot of Didcot crest in this video, and I quite like the green on it as well. This here is, I believe, a Hall class. Burton Agnes Hall in the green. Then we have Bonnie Prince Charlie here, which is much smaller than all the other locos here. Not the smallest though. This one here, which I believe is Wantage Tramway Shannon in the red. And that is a very small loco. It's smaller than King Edward II's tender. It's quite interesting how you're able to sort of get up really close and see everything and touch it even if you want to. You see here the nameplate of King Edward II in the BR Express passenger lined blue, which I like that livery, it's quite nice. You can see in the cab here of some loco, I forgot which one it is. And there's a lot of tenders here because there's a lot of Didcot locos with Didcot tender engines. And a crest there you can see. This is I don't know how to pronounce that name, but here's another pannier. It's not a 5700 like I've got, I don't believe. But it's quite nice seeing all the variety of engines here. You know, we've got Trojan here, which is quite a small one here. It's nice how you can sort of look just into the cab and everything. I mean, in theory, I'm not going to nick the coal, but I could have done. You can see here, I believe this is a Prairie. I believe it's a large, similar to what I've got, but not the same. And it's interesting seeing all the bits and seeing the sort of almost development of the different 460s they have here. From the older ones right up to the King Edward II in the King class. Here is a 56XX pannier tank. It's interesting seeing the size comparison wheels, because some of them are a lot smaller than others. Particularly comparing King Edward II's to most other engines, because it's got quite big wheels. And it's definitely quite a big engine. It has a sort of a very big presence compared to a lot of other engines here. And you can see how weird the bogie is with one being outside framed. You can see the variety of good vehicles here. And it's funny because the main line runs right past, so you can see all these old locomotives and rolling stock. And then there's just a modern container train hauled by a Freightliner Class 60 going by. So I find that quite funny. The Didcot Water Tower still here in Coaling Stage, which is quite big. And there's a lot of 66s, or at least there was when I went. And it's quite interesting to see all the various different ones, in some of them in the DB Schechner livery and some of them in the EWS red and gold. And this is just on one of the platforms at Didcot in the railway centre waiting for the passenger train to come along. It's just interesting to see the variety of modern image locos right by the other ones. And the older ones look a bit different to these now. Sheds.
I didn't know Didcot was a major freight depot, though.
I didn't either. These are the ones that brought in that free wagon train. You know, when there was that.
Oh yeah.
The top and tail, and then those free.
Oh, we're a long way away from where we parked, aren't we?
Yeah. You see the coaling stage as well over there.
What is it then?
It's like the Azumas, but they don't call it that. It's the 800.
It's diesel running then, Ben.
Yeah, it's one of the 800, I think.
Oh, right.
802.
Oh, wow.
They've forgotten the end. An interesting thing to know is how close I think you can get up to the actual steam locos. Like, there's no fence here or anything. And obviously there's a few people that might sort of tell you off if you get too close. But, you know, you can go up quite close and you can wander around the track. It's not like that on most of the heritage railways I've been to, so it's quite different. It reminds me of things that I've seen in photos of like heritage railways in the 70s, or even the mainline where you can almost just walk onto the tracks and don't mind too much. It's a bit different now. That's something that's very different here. And also the fact that they've got a lot of locos here in the shed. It's quite nice to see. You can tell they haven't got just steam locos, there's even gas turbines, various new build and other projects, and a variety of goods wagons, and that thing on the traverser, which I presume is where they drive it. We've also got a wide range of carriages in the carriage shed, including sleeper cars and various other ones. They all look quite good, some of them in better condition than others, but some of them look quite nice in the chocolate and cream. Got 6-wheel bogies, man.
I'm going to say for comfort, wouldn't it? Beautiful.
One of the two trains they had running was a Class 14, and I believe one coach of their two-coach self-propelled auto car, steam rail car, I think that's what it is. But that's quite interesting to see. I don't know. It might go not too far, but... And then it went back the other way again, because it's on the same site. They're only quite close together, but it's still nice to have trains to go on. And there's two, a steam and a diesel, when we were running, so that's quite good. So yeah, it's one of the earlier types. Also at Didcot is the two broad gauge engines that they have there, Iron Duke and Firefly, I believe, and some variety of broad gauge rolling stock, which is quite interesting. It's surprising how wide it actually is, and how big they are, even when you compare them to the much more modern, more modern locos like these two outside. And it's quite nice just to be able to walk up much closer and see the other loco, the prairie running, and it's very different to a lot of other places. Even like if you think the NRM maybe be the closest thing, or maybe Barrow Hill, but it's kind of similar to Barrow Hill, I guess, where you can walk around, but that's got more diesels than steam. But I liked it, and seeing all the different Great Western engines, and there's a wide variety really. And it's interesting seeing the train, the push-pull train with the prairie on it, going past the shed. There we are, there's the prairie. I like Didcot, it looks nice, like the blue. I parked their '08 Phantom here, and it's looked quite good in the BR blue. I don't think it's one of my favourite liveries on the '08, but it was interesting to be able to get up close to it, and I really want one now. I really enjoyed it, Didcot. There's a lot of steam locos, and it's also interesting to see the modern trains go by as you sat there next to much older ones. Thank you for watching this video by me. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below some video ideas or feedback. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.